20,000 years ago, you wake up feeling completely normal. You step outside your shelter and breathe in the fresh air. As the rest of your tribe slowly wakes up, the forest begins to fill with sound. Someone is already sharpening a stone spear. Another person is preparing to leave in search of food. It's a day just like hundreds before it, but by the time the sun reaches its highest point, something changes. At first, it's almost impossible to notice. A small pain deep in your stomach. You stop for a moment, place a hand on your side and wait. It isn't that bad. Maybe you ate something strange yesterday. Maybe you're just hungry. So you keep going, but the pain doesn't leave. Instead, it quietly follows you through the rest of the day. An hour later, you've stopped talking as much. You don't feel like eating. When the others laugh around you, you force a smile, but something feels wrong. You try to ignore it. After all, people don't stop working because of a stomachache. Not 20,000 years ago. Every person in your tribe has a job to do. If someone doesn't gather food, someone else has to. If someone can't help build shelter, everyone works harder. You tell yourself it'll be gone by tomorrow, but it gets worse. As the sun begins to set, a wave of nausea suddenly hits you. You barely have time to step away before you throw up. For the first time all day, you feel something far worse than pain. You feel fear because deep down, you realize something terrifying. There isn't a single doctor anywhere on Earth. Today, that thought sounds almost impossible. We're surrounded by hospitals, medicine, and people who understand what's happening inside our bodies. But none of that exists yet. No one knows what bacteria are. No one has ever heard of viruses. No one understands infections. To your tribe, sickness is something mysterious. One day a person is healthy, the next day they aren't, and sometimes they never recover. When something like that happens, the human brain desperately searches for an explanation. Some tribes may have believed spirits were responsible. Others may have blamed bad food, bad water, or something they couldn't see. We don't know exactly what every group believed, but we do know one thing. People have always tried to make sense of the unknown. As darkness falls, the rest of your tribe notices you're different. You aren't helping prepare dinner. You aren't talking. You simply sit beside the fire, staring into the flames. An older member of the tribe slowly walks over and kneels beside you. She places a hand against your forehead. She doesn't know what a fever is, but she knows your skin feels much hotter than it should. Without saying a word, she disappears into the trees. A little while later, she returns carrying leaves, roots, and pieces of bark. She crushes them between two stones, adds water, and hands you the mixture. It smells terrible. It probably tastes even worse. But would you refuse it? Probably not. When you have no idea what's making you sick, you'll try almost anything. Surprisingly, some of those plants may actually have helped. Long before scientists existed, people learned by watching. If someone chewed a certain leaf and their pain became a little weaker, the tribe remembered. If a particular root seemed to help wounds heal, they remembered that too. That knowledge was passed from one generation to the next. Not every remedy worked. Of course, many did absolutely nothing, and some were probably dangerous. But over thousands of years, people slowly discovered parts of nature that really could ease pain, reduce swelling, or calm an upset stomach. Without realizing it, they were laying the foundations of medicine. You somehow make it through the night, but you don't really sleep. You're too hot to sleep. One moment you're sweating, the next you're shivering. You wake up over and over again, hoping the fever has gone away. It hasn't. By morning, you feel even worse. Even standing up takes effort. Your legs feel weak, every muscle in your body aches. You haven't eaten since yesterday, and now even the thought of food makes you feel sick. That's a serious problem, because your body needs energy to fight whatever is happening inside you. But 20,000 years ago, food wasn't sitting inside a refrigerator. Someone had to spend hours searching for it, and now you can't help. The rest of your tribe faces a difficult decision. Every day they stay near you is another day they aren't hunting or gathering. But leaving you alone could be just as dangerous. What if your fever gets worse? What if you become too weak to drink? Would they stay? Or would survival force them to move on? The surprising answer is that many probably stayed. Archaeologists have discovered prehistoric skeletons belonging to people who survived terrible injuries, broken bones, crushed legs, even disabilities that would have made hunting impossible. Some of those people lived for years after being injured, and that tells us something incredible. Someone fed them, someone protected them, someone chose not to leave them behind. Long before hospitals existed, humans were already caring for one another. But your biggest battle isn't happening around the campfire. It's happening somewhere you can't even see, inside your own body. At this very moment, millions of immune cells are moving through your bloodstream. They're searching for anything that doesn't belong. The strange thing is, you don't notice any of it. You only feel the fever, the pain, and the exhaustion. But behind the scenes, your immune system is fighting one of the most important battles of your life, and the outcome depends on countless tiny events happening every second. If the illness was caused by a virus, there wasn't much anyone could do except wait. If it was caused by bacteria, some Some infections might eventually disappear on their own, while others could become deadly. Without antibiotics, even a simple cut could sometimes turn into a life-threatening infection. That's one of the hardest things to imagine today. We think of a fever as an inconvenience. Back then, it could decide whether someone lived or died, and nobody knew why one person recovered while another didn't. Days pass. You wake up one morning, and for the first time, you actually feel hungry. It's only a few bites of food, but it's enough. You manage to stand. Every step still hurts, but you aren't getting weaker anymore. You're getting stronger. The people around you notice it too. They smile as you slowly walk back toward the fire. Almost everything looks exactly the same as it did before. The trees haven't changed. The river still flows. The birds are still singing. But you have. You've survived something invisible, something you never understood and never even saw. It's easy to forget how extraordinary that really is. Today, if you wake up with a fever, you can visit a doctor, pick up medicine from a pharmacy, and often know exactly what's wrong within a single day. But for almost all of human history, none of those things existed. If you became sick, you had only 3 things to rely on: your own immune system, the knowledge your tribe had collected over countless generations, and the people willing to stay beside you until you recovered. Because 20,000 years ago, surviving an illness wasn't just about being strong. It was about being lucky, being cared for, and having a body capable of fighting for you even when you didn't realize it. And perhaps that's the most incredible part of all. For thousands of years before humanity understood what disease even was, our bodies were already fighting to keep us alive every single day.